any of you have a garden at home? Or have you at least visited a local farmer's market to buy your produce from a local vendor? Why would it be important to eat food that is grown locally? What are some benefits to you? Well, it doesn't cost you as much in fuel because you don't have to travel as far to get it. And it doesn't take that food as much money to get to you as well. It's more fresh because it hasn't been shipped from further away. And you're supporting your local growers and your local farmers. Has anyone ever heard of the word locavore? Maybe not, but I bet you've heard of words that are similar. Has anybody ever heard the word carnivore or herbivore? Well, a carnivore is something that eats meat, and an herbivore is something that eats plants. So the word vor means to eat. But what does loca remind you of? Well, as we just talked about, we talked about eating local and buying local foods. So locavore is someone who eats foods that are grown and raised locally. So can any of you think of some popular foods that are grown and made in the state of Michigan? Well, you probably think of Michigan cherries or Michigan apples, but there's a lot more that Michigan offers. Let's take a look at the top 10 agricultural products produced in Michigan. First off is dairy. Michigan is home to 1,300 dairy farm families who care for over 424,000 cows. On average, each Michigan dairy cow produces 26,340 pounds of milk annually. Soybeans. Michigan growers harvested almost 2.3 million acres of soybeans and produced more than 109.4 million bushels of the crop in 2018. Corn. In 2018, Michigan farmers harvested more than 1.9 million acres of corn for grain, producing over 296.8 million bushels. Beef. As of January 2019, Michigan had an inventory of 108,000 beef cows. According to the Michigan Ag Council, beef cattle are raised in 80 of the state's 83 counties on nearly 12,000 farms. Michigan is also known for pork. It has an inventory of nearly 1.2 million hogs. Michigan is the 13th largest pork producing state in the United States. Eggs. Ranking 7th in the United States for egg production, Michigan's egg producers provide each Michigan resident with 23 dozen eggs every year. And of course, apples. Michigan ranks 3rd in the nation in apple production, with more than 11.3 million commercial apple trees covering 39,500 acres on 825 farms. Potatoes. Potatoes are grown in more than 40 counties across Michigan, with 70% of those potatoes used to produce potato chips. As a result, 1 in every 4 bags of potato chips in the nation are made from Michigan potatoes. Wheat. Michigan owners harvested 470,000 acres of winter wheat in 2018, which produced a total of 35.7 million bushels of this commodity. And asparagus. Approximately 120 local Michigan farmers produce approximately 20 million pounds of Michigan asparagus during the state's 6 to 7 week harvest. Michigan ranks 2nd in the nation for asparagus production thanks to its unique sandy soil. So as you can see, you live in a state that is very rich in its agriculture and the foods that can be grown locally here. Can you think of any other foods that are grown locally or that you maybe grow in your own garden? So now that we've discussed food culture and we've taken a look at 2 distinct food cultures from other parts of the world, and we've talked about our own local food culture and the popular foods grown right here in the state of Michigan, we're ready for our lesson activity. But of course, before we get started with that, let's get up on our feet and get ready for our brain break.